because like what I found is like using sticks and rocks, you could change like the way the water moves over the landscape, and then you change the amount of that changes the amount of water, and then the amount of water changes the species that grow there.
Yeah.
So eventually you live in a whole different ecology. You start doing that. So we don't have to walk all the way down there, but there's brush dams down there, and those are all placed exactly how I placed this berm up here by looking at where the wash was depositing sand. So wherever the wash was depositing sand, I just exaggerated that. It's like, okay, well, let's deposit more sand. So eventually, all the way down, these will be eventually like level silt fields, because the silt and the sediment will back up, and then you'll have like terraces all the way down. Yeah. And then that's like really good soil in there, all the way down. So yeah, that's the male date palm with the deep pipe irrigation as well. Same thing.
Remember we did that at the other company?
What is this plant? That's
an ambrosia dumosa. Yeah,
Okay.
That's another good guy.
the good guy.
Yeah.
You can always tell where there's water. The trees are
Yeah, there's so
green.
much healthier.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a greenhouse for overwintering stuff and growing trees eventually. We'll start moving stuff in there pretty soon now that it's getting colder.
That's another water catchment system.
Oh yeah, that's another place that we store water.
Chicken coop.
This is our chicken coop.
This is the chicken coop.
They're not in here because they're outside.
They're outside. They'd rather be outside right now. But this is all the compost that gets made from our chickens.
If you guys want to come
Oh
here.
yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, they don't have a pile. They have a chicken composter.
Yeah. So the chickens basically make that for us.
Yep.
I think that the best way to compost is like the most fun way. So it's just really fun to just dump food in here and watch the chickens go crazy. They do half the turns for me. So yeah.
Do you want to go in,
good
baby?
compost.
If you guys want to feel the compost, or you don't have to. It's
I know, there's so many flies in here.
yeah.
That's good stuff.
You want to smell it? Moist.
Whoa.
Just don't touch me after. No, I'm just kidding. I wore gray. No, seriously.
I'm serious.
And the run in here.
Sorry.
So this is like an example of the kind of stuff that we get from one of the juice bars. Nice. They just save all of their juice pressings in bags for me, and I just go and I pick up like 2 bins full of bags every couple days. And that's just one of the places that we pick up food. So
One of them's awake, huh?
one of them's Awake. Yeah, I pick Awake gives me like a trash can full of food. And these right here, this is 100
beer.
gallons. Yeah, it's beer.
Drunk.
This is 100 gallons of spent grain from the brewery.
Oh, it's wort?
You should open it.
Or whatever, yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, wort is the after the grain's been cooked and whatnot. It's before they add the yeast and things like that.
No, I think it's like
Junk
or is it-
chicken.
You wanna
I think it's
smell
after
it?
the fact. Oh, no, it's been cooked.
It
Yeah.
smells interesting.
It's fermented, so it's
yeah.
lactic
I
acid.
really like
Lactic
the smell.
acid,
I
exactly.
want to eat it bad,
Koji.
but Roy won't let me.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's pretty clean.
You wanna smell it?
It's really,
Okay.
really good for the
And
chickens.
each one
They
that
love
they
it.
give
And the
us
rabbits.
smells different. There was one that smelled like bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they eat it.
Or make bread.
Yeah, you can. I feel like they're so, but don't tell him that. He won't let me eat it.
That's how you make
Huh?
rice. They make vinegars that way
I
and
think
stuff
you
like
can.
that.
I don't know.
So we have lots of like alcohol.
So you guys want to feed
Yeah,
the chickens?
that's what she was saying. Junk chickens. She was saying her chickens are getting.
I don't know if that's if that's
alcoholic
if that's actually alcoholic, because usually the wort
You would smell
that
it.
wort is removed
Right, it hasn't been fermented yet.
before the fermentation begins.
Maybe all the sugar is probably out of it by
Oh
now.
yeah. So
No, the sugar would be in it.
Oh, be in it. Okay.
No, sugar would be in it because this has not gone through a fermentation. It's
I
not
see.
fermented.
Interested.
You teach at the college?
Yeah.
Okay.
We teach permaculture.
take through the
I'm thinking of making a
through the-
permaculture
through
association for the
compost.
desert.
So they're actually turning the
Yes,
compost for us.
definitely.
So you know traditional, like you buy those like $600 like compost turners, like that's a lot of labor. So we have some like traditional compost piles over there, but
This is just way more fun.
and it's way more effective.
It's not me.
So if you're like a lazy farmer, just get some chickens.
Yeah, I love
You
chickens.
just dump it all in the center, huh? And they just
Yeah,
go.
so this is what we
Remember how
do
I was
like
saying I want to just throw it in
out
there?
here in the run. In there it's kind of like more like I'll put on new food once I turn it like you saw it in there.
Yeah.
So that's all like food that they've eaten all the food and it's been turned into poop and compost. So then I put it into a pile and then I put more food on top. And then they flatten it out and then I put it in a pile again. And they flatten it out. So it's like, you know. We're
Is there
coworkers.
any veggies that they don't eat? I notice mine are like selective and
Onions.
picky sometimes.
They don't like- they don't-
okay.
I mean, if they're hungry,
Don't eat it.
they'll eat it. Oh. I don't really
That rabbit
like,
just got pecked.
So
yeah.
do they eat stuff like? Is it like?
No, I don't do any feed for the
Okay.
chickens.
Unless they're chicks.
Unless they're chicks. I
Okay.
start them on regular feed if they're chicks. But no, I don't spend any money on feed for the chickens because they get like they not only get the greens and the grains, which is 2/3 of what their diet should be, but they also get the grubs and the bugs
Right.
Yeah, all the
because they live in an
flies.
environment like this. Like you look closely, you'll see ants everywhere, and you know there's flies, especially in the compost pile. Because, like you said, like I don't like I put in these citrus peels. They don't eat these. They
Yeah.
definitely don't eat these. But somebody does.
Okay.
And whoever tries to eat this, the chickens will eat them.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
the chickens will eat. They'll go after snakes. They'll eat mice. That's why it's like kind of crazy when I see eggs in the store. It's like vegetarian fed chickens. It's like that's cruel. They're predators.
They're
Right.
dinosaurs.
You know, that's why they have beaks like that.
And then are these like laying chickens too?
Yeah, it's all just for eggs.
Yeah, we have some roosters in here. We're gonna have to kill a lot this year.
Or you eat them or?
Huh?
Yeah, we'll eat
Yeah,
them.
we'll
Yeah,
eat
good.
them. Yeah, because when it comes to roosters, you can have 6 chickens per one rooster.
Like 6 to 8
Yeah, 6 to 8.
is
Otherwise,
like minimum.
They
Not
get
pens per rooster.
that's when you start hearing like horror stories
Yep.
about.
They get
roosters.
There's
rowdy.
not enough females to go around.
Yeah.
Roosters.
Very
So they'll fight.
territorial.
They'll fight. Yeah. To the death.
But we actually killed one. When was that? In the spring, March?
In the spring, yeah.
Yeah, so we killed a rooster. It was our first time killing it. And then the season before that, we sold a rooster. And I found it harder to sell the rooster versus killing
Harvesting.
it, because it's like that's your rooster that like you raised and it's
Yeah.
your responsibility, as opposed to like selling it to a stranger.
There's the
It's like,
black one,
is
Not
he-
knowing how they're gonna treat
You have
it.
no
yeah,
clue how
like
they're
is he
gonna-
gonna go to cockfight?
It's like at
But,
least
like-
the chicken had a
'Cause
good
those
life
are-
up until you had to kill it and eat it. So.
And those cockfights are really popular in the high desert, so I was like, so I was scared. Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Especially, I heard that the black chickens that we had, like it was a black rooster that we sold. It was like a Yam Samani, the one that's all black. I heard that those were especially bred for